Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I am Katie O'Neill and I am over the moon excited to show you today's luxury bunk model RV. You can always find me at 303-562-8659. Again, 303-562-8659. And if you watch my videos, you know me at RVs Inside Out, and you know that I love a bunk model. So let's go ahead and start from the inside out. Jody, please go ahead and take her on back. Today is really exciting for me because honestly, this is kind of my dream coach. You know, this coach is a bath and a half model with 2 showers, 2-tone cabinets, really sexy decor on the inside. I love the grays. I'm not a big beige fan. I know a lot of people are, so please don't take that personally. But if I could just have any coach off the market, it would either be this or, of course, I'd take a London Air. But man, oh man, 450 horsepower, 1,250 foot-pounds of torque, tag axle, 43 feet, 10 inches long. Again, 15,000 pound towing capacity. This coach is the luxury model. Now, one of the things that's so great about this RV too is that this is not only going to be great for sleeping a ton of people, it's also going to be great for storage if you don't have little kiddos that are going to go camping with you. And the most important thing is if you do have friends that go camping with you, they don't have to use your shower. Now go ahead, take a look at this shower. This shower is so generous. It is so lovely. This is a 50-inch by 30-inch shower. So super decadent amount of space. And as you can see, because of the cathedral ceilings, and Jody, just show how Newmar's finished this. Everything here is just done to such a great detail. What a nice little treat for us. But this is a huge shower. So for anyone who wants to come in here, it even has this great bench. So if you had littles that you were washing, you've got the adjustable wand. You've got this really nice shelf that has a great band in front of it, keeping your shampoo and conditioner from falling out while you're in motion. And then as you can see, this adjustable rain head, because of the cathedral ceiling, goes up nice and high. And then here you'll see that the water in this coach is currently not hot. If we put our recycle feature on and heated this water, when this turned red, we would know that it would be time to go ahead and actually turn it back and then have the water start to come out of the shower head. So what that's doing is it's recycling your hot water or your cool water into the Oasis hydronic heating system. This all-electric coach has a tankless hot water system run by an Oasis hydronic system, and it runs it out of this freshwater tank, which is 105 gallons, and then it runs through the heater, and then it comes back into the tank, and when it's warm, that's when you turn that water on, and so you're preheating your water, saving your 75-gallon gray water tank for better use. That way you're not wasting your ability to boondock. Now, one of the nice features on this coach, I think it's been a great ad, we've seen it throughout most of our product line, are the towel bars on the back of the shower door. And then, of course, we've got a really nice robe hook up in the corner as well. So this is a great coach for anybody who's looking to get ready in the morning, have some privacy. If someone else needs to take a shower, they can do that too. Another nice feature of this, and I'm just going to measure a few important things. This is just over 12 inches tall. It's just under 13 inches. If you have an electronic toothbrush, being able to plug it in and then having an outlet up here is such a nice feature because you can keep your electronic toothbrushes here above or underneath the medicine cabinet. And then look at the size of this medicine cabinet. This is so much storage. All of your Band-Aids, all of your hairspray, your flat iron, your hair dryer, all of those things can be kept in this cabinet. And you'll notice that in this 2-tone decor, we've got this beautiful Summit medicine cabinet, just bringing in a little extra light. Now, over here, of course, we have our fantastic Splendide washer and dryer. And then you'll note that we also have some heat vents here underneath the washer and dryer for our hydronic heating system. And then we have an in-floor heat made with electric heated floor. So there's a little wire that goes through here, and this heated floor is in combination with the heat pumps that we have in the unit and with the hydronic system. Just a great way to keep this coach nice and warm. And one of the benefits of having the in-floor heating system is it's a quiet form of heat. It's a way that you can keep the coach warm without hearing the sound of the fan from the hydronic system or from the heat pumps. So of course, that's a really nice feature of this coach. Now, if you wanted to get ready in the morning, you've got some nice drawer storage here. Keep your undies, maybe some stuff to get ready, because up here you've got plenty of room for your toothpaste and all of those things. And then here we have plenty of room for extra towels and linens. And then a great benefit and absolute bonus in this bathroom is right here. You have a hanging space and then also adjustable shelves. So if you have any larger items that you want to stow when you're in between trips, this would be a great place to keep some of the bigger things. If you have a toaster oven or a coffee pot or anything, there's no rule saying you have to keep everything that belongs in the kitchen. And this flexible space can be also used for hiking boots, flip-flops, tennis shoes, whatever the things that you would need would be. But you can also, like I said, keep those big electronic items in this rear cubby. So here we have the egress door. Of course, this is in case there's a fire, but it also makes it for very handy execution of dumping the linens and towels after a big camping trip. Now, keep in mind, you can wash your sheets and your linens with your, with your Splendid washer and dryer. There's enough room in there for a set of bed sheets. But if you're gonna do like a whole bunch of laundry, but usually when we close up, we'll bring everything out, take it inside, use the big laundry, and then just wash everything at once. That's a great way to be able to get everything in and out. And then of course, one of the nice features of this is that you have this opening window right here. So you've got some fresh air here. And then I'm actually running our fantastic fan right now. So fully vented rear bathroom, nice quiet place. And then this coach has a lot of extra features, but one of the things I actually think is great about this is it just has the manual shades. So a little bit of a cost savings overall, but also something you don't have to worry about having a remote for as you're going through the coach. Now, as we go into this bedroom area here, I want you to see I don't have all of the lights on. I only have the accent lights on above this headboard. I think this is one of the most beautiful bedrooms that we have. I love the decor change that they did in the 2023 Dutch Star with the cabinetry. These are all solid maple cabinets once again. And as you can see, we still have our two 110 outlets up above. And then Newmar has always made the Dutch Star, which is of course our #1 selling product, a little more luxurious with things like a glass plate in the storage bins overhead. And then you have a grommet here, so you could run a cord for an iPad or any laptop through the top. And then over here on your nightstand, you'll see in 2021 we started using this cutout. And the cutout is so handy because there's a USB Type A and Type C and two 110 outlets in that cubby. So if you wanted to be able to run a CPAP machine, for instance, you could run the cord through the top of that little cutout. And then there's plenty of room to keep that machine over here on the left or the right hand side of the bed. So lots and lots of opportunity here to keep your CPAP machine down below your heart level. Of course, that may or may not be necessary according to your physician, but if it is, great option here. Also just kind of keeps it out of the way. Here we have our two extendable inserts for our dinette. You'll see this later. So this coach can not only sleep a bunch of people, it can also feed a bunch of people. There's lots of room in here. And now you'll take a look at this beautiful decorative ceiling. This is of course hiding all of our centrally ducted air conditioning system. And keep in mind, one of the benefits of this coach going down the road is if you're traveling with kids, oh my gosh, Mom, I'm hot. Oh, it's too warm in here. All of your air conditioning is ducted. So you can actually have these slides closed and still get the fresh air into the rear of the coach. Now let's go ahead. This is not a Lithionics package coach. It's a really expensive option. This has 8 AGM, so it's got 800 amp hours of battery storage as opposed to 960. And it does not have the second inverter so that you can run your air conditioner without starting your generator. But I have the 10 kilowatt generator running right now and you can't hear it. So of course, one of the benefits of buying a diesel pusher is that your engine's in the rear. So as you're driving, you've got that quiet going down the road. The other benefit is that your air conditioner is in the front under the driving column, so that you don't have, first of all, frontal impact. You've got a gigantic generator and a huge steel structure below you. But second of all, you don't hear that when you're in the rear of the coach running the air conditioning. So that's another great feature of this coach. And then what we did is we've actually gone through and we've changed our interface here. So you can see I've just turned all of these lights on. This is a really bright interior of this coach. And you have the ability to dim these lights. You can change which ones are on. In the bedroom alone, there are there's 7 different lighting settings that you could turn on. As you can see here, like courtesy lights are standalone. The reading lights are standalone, so you could have the left or the right reading light on. The dresser has reading lights. The ceiling lights are standalone. And then one of the nice features of this is that you have an all lights off feature as well, so you could just turn everything off. I meant to do bedroom all at once. So super handy there. And just leave the courtesy lights on for the kids, for instance. Now, if you turn around, Jody, just show this nice smoked mirror that we have in this rear bedroom. So this is one of the things that Newmar does so well. This bedroom feels really roomy. They extend the space into the coach by adding a nice smoked mirror. But as you can see, it's not a bright mirror. It's a nice dark mirror, so it's adding that space without making it too, like, you know, in your face. The other thing that they do that's super nice is look at this wood plank tile floor. Really, really great filling for the bedroom. And you can go ahead and put a rug down on top of this if you want something to stand up on. But this is so easy to sweep clean because right below your feet, you have a kick plate for your central vac system. So you have not only vacuum hoses, but you also have a kick plate to sweep into. Now, I know we talked about the hanging space in the bathroom, but we also have really nice wardrobe space here. Somebody commented in one of my videos, oh my gosh, thank goodness you got rid of that rear lip. Well, I didn't get rid of the rear lip. The reason that these wardrobes have this lip underneath is because this 72 by 80 mattress tucks in underneath this space here, allowing you to have a mattress that doesn't need to fold. So that there's different floor plans, and if you don't like the hanging wardrobe, of course you don't have to have it, but it does serve a really fantastic purpose in that you can have this huge bedroom area with a completely 80-inch deep bed, which for tall people is a big deal, and that's 72 inches wide, and you don't have to have it tilt or pivot when the slides are closed. And of course that makes it nice because if you're staying, at a rest stop overnight on your way across country and you just need a few hours of sleep, you could sleep with the slides closed on this coach, especially since there's a bathroom on either side. Now you'll see here, I have our awning deployed outside, and it's really windy today. They actually shut down Highway 93 right outside of where we live. But I have it deployed and it's keeping the sun out without blocking our view. Now I can also open up this window as well as the windows on either side of the bed for some fresh air circulation coming through the coach, which is a great feature. Of course, we have an emergency exit here, but the nice thing about this is that you don't actually have to jump out head first. You could just use the egress door in the bathroom and use the ladder, which might be a little more safe. And then this is how low these awnings go on the outside. So I'll leave that one deployed. I have the other ones partially deployed just to show you the flexibility that they have, because that is one of the nicer features of these awnings. So again, big, nice, deep pocket drawers, plenty of room. When we go camping, the kids each get a drawer here, and then they also get a drawer underneath the bunks. So I'll show you those other drawers in a second. But what's nice about these drawers is even when you have the hanging wardrobe, there's an extension so you have access to the full drawer here. And then over here on the right, we have our HDMI cord and all of the things that we need for our TV. So our 43-inch flat screen TV up above is powered by Starlink. So first of all, HDMI cord here if you wanted to run a Blu-ray player. There is an outlet here, so if you wanted to be able to put in a PlayStation 5 or anything like that for the kids to play video games in the bedroom, you could do that as well. Of course, we don't take those type of devices with us for nice days when we should be outside, but if it's rainy and gross, for a day or two, it's a great place to have the kids kind of get to the rear of the coach, have their own space, let the adults hang out up front, play cards or whatever at the dining table. So again, This 43-inch flat screen TV is powered by the big industrial Starlink. So this coach actually has in-motion satellite reception, and so it's really cool down the road. Kids can go ahead, well, watch things on Netflix. Maybe there's a big game on this weekend, like the Nuggets game tonight. So you might have that on Fubo. Everyone has access to all of the internet activity that they would need. So right here is the rear slide-out control. I'm going to go ahead and bring this bedroom in. We will take a look at this coach with all of the slides in. And one of the benefits, again, of this coach is that if you are camping and you want to be able to stay at a rest stop, because there's a bathroom on both the left and the right-hand side of the bed, you could both have a nice place to sleep and get up and go potty at night without having to crawl over the top of the other person, which is super handy. Now, as you can see, there are some doors on these bunk beds. And the reason that there's doors on the bunk beds is because this has been converted into a hanging space. So as you saw, this is a 73-inch deep bunk instead of a 72. So if you've got any 6-foot tall kids, this is the difference maker. It's got that extra inch. But as you can see, it also has the hanging rod space above the top. So you put the pole in here and then you slide it over the little crook over here on the right, and you can turn this entire space into an additional closet. Which is super handy. But if you do have kids with you, you can use the USB Type-C and Type-A ports with the 110 outlets. They've got their own lights. This also has the optional window. Now the bedroom windows in the bunks are so handy. We love to open these up during the summertime and get that fresh air pumping through the coach, and there's one on each level. There's also some really nice little built-in televisions. The Skywars televisions are, of course, something you can plug, any kind of, again, gaming console, USB, Blu-ray player, things like that into these TVs, and the kids could watch, television instead of having to have, How to Train Your Dragon on for the 18th time in the front of the coach. So here are those drawers I mentioned, and look at how deep these are. These are super deep pocket drawers. Now I know I told you 73 inches long, 30 inches is the depth of this, but these drawers are 27 inches deep, but super big drawers, and then 19 inches wide. So that's a great measurement to know in case you're going to buy something to keep little tins in or bins, and then about 4.5 inches of clearance when you close them. So again, bunks do not necessarily mean kids. A lot of people will say, oh, I don't need a bunk model. I don't travel with children. I've got to tell you, if you travel with friends, or even if you're just planning on taking a trip to Alaska, maybe you're going to be gone for 2 or 3 months. If you want to put the bins that you have with all of your dried goods, your cereals, your crackers, the things that you buy at Costco, cases of water, beer, wine, want your wine underneath the coach getting hot, you can use the space for storage. And when you take this upgraded package that turns it into the closet, not only do you get the hanging space above for your extra clothing, the storage space down below, but you also get these really handy handy doors. And then on top of this, if you do happen to have friends, this coach is going to have the couch as opposed to the theater seats in it, so it's got a full-size queen bed in the front. I don't know if you've ever traveled with your buddies, but for us, we do a lot of camping with Aislinn, and then we do a lot of camping with my son CJ, and then we do a lot of camping with Max and Liz. So whenever we're camping with these folks, especially Liz thinks that hiking is aggressive walking. She has no idea why people would want to walk aggressively. So she's always back at camp making a charcuterie board for us, making beautiful salads. She's just the most amazing person to have at camp, because you can go out and get all hot and sweaty and come back to a beautifully cooked meal. But she has a lot of stuff. She has a different outfit for the 3 times a day that you'll see her. She always is dressed to the nines, and she can keep her little duffel bag, her makeup case, everything in that top bunk here. And then when we're, going down the road, there's room for all of her stuff. And then of course, when we're stopped and camping, she's got a place to keep her suitcase and her luggage, even though she's sleeping on the queen size up front in the middle of the cab. Now, another great feature of this coach is the fact that when you close this door, right, and you close this door, and you close that door, you actually have an entire dressing room here where if you were getting dressed in the morning and somebody was sleeping back here, they could stay asleep. You could get dressed here. You could use the mid shower. You could also get dressed here if you were sleeping on the bunk with the parents not watching, and you don't have to come out of the shower with this mid door in your skivvies, which is a super handy feature. Okay, so Jody, go ahead and come on in. This is one of my favorite features of this coach. He gets so mad at me when I do this, but I have to show you everything. So here's that full-length mirror. So another great feature of this coach, when you're getting ready in the morning, you can go ahead and make sure that you're dressed to the nines. And then we have this huge shower here in the middle. I don't know how they create space at Newmar, but I feel like they actually create more space. This is a 37 by 29 inch shower. Again, it has that same aquamizer system, so you're recycling the water. It's got that same place to keep your soap and then all of your conditioner and shampoo in place while you're moving down the road. It has the wand as well as the rain shower head, and then it has a really nice skylight, and there's also fans in here. So not only do you get that nice light with the mid skylight, you also get the fan. And then again, here on top of the counter, we have another great place with an outlet. And then you can keep your power toothbrush over here. We've got some nice storage here in the center. Again, an outlet in the cubby so you could keep your flat iron or your hair dryer plugged in. A little towel rack, a ton of room. This is definitely where I would keep some kitchen towels, probably the bug spray, the things that everyone needs to have access to. And then as you can see, tall storage here. And they don't waste any space. Even this little cabinet here has plenty of room for, I don't know, like, what is that stuff that you use when you get poison oak? You can keep all sorts of stuff stashed in here. The more space underneath the sink. And then I love that they have this really beautiful glass vessel sink. Just gives you a little more storage down below. It's got a really cool, dark gunmetal faucet. This is throughout the coach. We've got all these great faucet sets that came in 2023. But the undermount sink in the bathroom matches this. It's just a really nice little touch. Everything is well coordinated. And then up here you have, of course, your breaker box and kind of the brains of the operation. And you can just see how well labeled everything is. It's really, really nicely identified for you. There's no guessing as to what things go to what. So if you do have something that stops working, you can come and check your fuses really easily, flip a breaker really easily. And then I'm just going to hop in this shower really quickly just to show you. This is not a radius shower. So in 2024, they kind of started to move away from that 35-inch radius. Reason being, I mean, it really is kind of hard to be able to move around, but here with this extra, few inches that you have, you can really get your arms nice and wide. And then, as I said, having this little storage area where you can keep your shampoo and conditioner, because we've all gone down the road where we hear that thud and we're like, oh man, we forgot to put everything away in the shower. Just nice that you could leave it set while you're camping. And you can leave it there when you're packed up, so even if it freezes, it would just be in your shower. Oh, so someone had asked me in a video what the entrance of this shower is. So I brought my tape measure actually specifically for that. 17.5 inches is the amount of room that you have into the shower. And then this little portal here is just over 20 inches, so about 20.5 inches there. And again, creating space is something that Newmar is so good to do, or so good at doing. One of the things about this kitchen, first and foremost, again, this Moral, lower cabinet paired with the Summit upper cabinets is a really beautiful look. They have this great swirly glass subway tile that they have installed in the Dutch Star product. It really is almost meant to marry these two colors together. But one of the nice things is if you are cooking for a large family and you've got the kids with you and their parents, you have a place for a toaster oven and a coffee pot and your knife set and your bowl of fruit. Everything can be put out here on this cabinet or on this kitchen top because it's so vastly wide, even though you have bunks. So I have bunks in my Superstar, and of course I dedicate about 8 or 9 feet of my coach to engine. Because this is a Class A, I can have a 69-inch wide kitchen, and then at the deepest depth of this, let's go ahead and just go with about 40 to 42 inches deep. So tons and tons of storage. And then one of the things that they did improve I think it happened in 23, is they raised the height of this to be 18 inches, and that's exactly where it's at. It's at 18 inches of clearance. And of course, that's important if you've got an espresso machine or a toaster oven. And then, as I mentioned, tons of overhead storage. If you want to keep glasses, plates, and bowls here, you're welcome to. This is an adjustable cabinet with that rear space in the bathroom. I don't think I would keep my coffee maker here. I think I would keep it in back while I was in motion, because after I got to where I was going, it could just live on the counter. And again, nice amount of space here, especially taking that into account, because this is a tight kitchen. I mean, you've got to figure you're able to really sleep quite comfortably. 2 kids and then 4 full-blown like adults. This is a deep spice rack. Sometimes they're really narrow and you need special containers. I think with this spice rack, you could put just about anything in there. You know, all your salt and pepper and your Lorries. Another great feature of this coach is going to be this cooktop. So we make French toast, bacon, and eggs outside almost every morning when we're camping. It's just easy. You know, bread stores really well. Eggs are easy. Everyone loves bacon. And so we take this outside. But if you have littles that are helping you to cook breakfast, this is a huge fire prevention method. So because this True Induction is magnetic, you can use a really nice pot. There's no fluctuation in terms of temperature. You could actually set it either to 1 through 5, or you could set it to a temperature. So you see this little burner setting here. This flips back and forth. So on this setting, it would be 1 through 5. On this setting, you could actually set it to like a particular degree. So 360 is a great degree to cook eggs on. Fried eggs come out perfect every single time. But if you take this outside, you can leave your cutting boards or just your kitchen in place. So you still have all of the prep space in this area, even with your cooktop outside. So having a removable cooktop, of course, is nice because you can use it outside, and also you don't have to store it. But beyond that, you also have some really great drawer storage here. So all your bottle openers and can openers and spatulas can be right here to the right of where you need them. And then, of course, your silverware is right here below. Nice silverware drawer. As you can see, lots of remotes. This coach does have the universal, oh no, these are the Skywatch remotes. They're not universal. These are the Skywatches for the bunks. Then you have your Samsung remotes for your flat screen TVs, as well as your Bose soundbar remote. Oh, there's the universal. I know I saw it on the container, on the spec sheet. Holy mackerel. And then another remote here for your Girard awnings. And then this is the Salsa Dutch Star. And so it's got the main accent color was really fun to get dressed with today. So you can see, I think I nailed it. I've got the Salsa red pearl paint on the exterior of this coach. This coach is absolutely gorgeous. I did not build this coach. I think Brian Ritz built this coach. I think he did a great job. And another cool thing about this is not only does it have the all-new two-tone cabinetry, it's an onyx package. So it's super luxurious and really decadent on the inside, and it's badass on the outside. So grandma, you know you're gonna be the coolest grandma on the block if you pick up this coach. I actually think that Jason and I would consider this color combination. It's really, really striking, and we love this farm style sink. One of the nice aspects of this is it's got a lower divider. So you do have the option of having like longer things, like if you got a baking tray or something you need to wash. But you also have that spray and pour feature. And then you have a vegetable side, and then of course you've got your regular side. The covers don't mimic the difference. So they're really nice. If you had that one in place, you'd have a nice deep basin to be able to wash things. So you could leave one of these in place, for instance, and still have room, the extra counter space. So of course we're always worried about counter space in RVs. That's another great drawer. It's gonna be a great place for your scrubbies. I always talk about on my videos how I don't know what you would use this drawer for, but with this nice farm style front sink, you don't have my scrubby drawer. So there's your scrubby drawer. And then this is just a great feature on the Dutch Star. You know, it's hard to get to the stuff in the back, and you have to get down on your hands and knees to access things. But here you can put all of your cleaning supplies, maybe your garbage bags back here, and then you can put everything underneath and all the way to the rear, still have access to it without having to actually bend over to grab everything. So we love that. Okay, so let's go to the other side before we start talking about the TV and cover the pantry space. And then one of the things we talked about, so If you've got a bunch of grandkids hanging around, we all know you send them outside and you have a glass of wine. This is the place for grandma and mom to sit. Get all the kids together, great place to hang out, have a little cheese, have a little wine, have some fruit, relax. These nice cushions make it so comfy to sit in this area, but you know what happens is it makes it a little bit tight for, you know, eating dinner with a group of people. Or go ahead, bring it all the way out. Look at how much table space you gain here. So 22 inches of extra table space. There is a nice leg here to support the extra weight so you can keep all the stuff on the table. The buffet stays in place, so your Cholula and Tabasco sauce and salt and pepper and napkin holder, maybe your flower arrangement can all stay where it belongs. And then underneath here, this is, by the way, where I would keep my plates. Oh, do I really have to? There we go. There's no release on these anymore. There used to be a release way underneath. This is where I would keep my plates and bowls. And then this is where I would keep all of my placemats and napkins. So when you're setting the table, for us, I just think it's really easy. I've had some people say I would never bend down to pick up the stuff. So, I mean, I get it. If you wouldn't, then don't put it there. But that's where I keep all my stuff. And then here's the pantry. Look at all the stuff you could bring with you. So these are push to release, full extension. Again, super easy access to get all the way to the back. The Pam cooking spray, all the stuff, you know, the syrup, the things that you don't normally have room for in a coach, you have room for here. And you get these 6 drawers and they're full extension the whole way down. So tons of room in this kitchen. Once again, surprisingly, even though it has a 73 by 30 bunk set. And then up here, this is where my toaster lives. I like the whole countertop toaster with the broil feature and all of that stuff. So we have a pretty big toaster. It lives up here. We also keep our bread in a box up here because mice can smell bread, so we don't keep the bread outside of a container. And then we love our Whirlpool refrigerator. This is the same refrigerator that I have. It's got a veggie and fruit drawer. This little guy slides down, so I've got room for open bottles of Prosecco, lots of room for all of my condiments, my milk, and then a charcuterie drawer down below for all of your bacon, your sandwich meats, your cheeses. So lots of room there. And then the whole house water filter is such a nice feature because when you have a water dispenser on the exterior of your coach, or sorry, of your refrigerator drawer that is filtered not only here but also at the house level, you don't have to keep a Brita in the refrigerator. So when I left Renegade and came over to Newmar, that was one of the benefits that I had, was that water dispenser. Also, you have a nice ice maker and then a ton of deep storage down here. If you want to keep your popsicles and your treats in here, you could do that, because outside you also have a 3 cubic liter freezer and refrigerator combination on a slide. So you could keep frozen goods outside. That can be programmed to be either thing. So you might use half of it for beverages and the other half for frozen meat if you're doing a longer trip, for instance. But so this kitchen is super, super functional between all of these things. And then above here, this is a great place to keep, I think, just coffee cups, glasses, all of the things that you need for beverages. We do a lot of frozen cups in the refrigerator or in the freezer on that top shelf. So we have cold cups, but we also have all of our coffee cups and our plastic cups, and that would just be a nice place to keep them. You could also use it as a dry bar. And then this is where we keep like our puzzles and games. You could put a lot of Monopoly in here and have a bunch of family feuds. We all know people who camp together should not play Monopoly together. Not a good thing. Whew. My daughter always wins. I keep telling her I think she should be a real estate mogul. She is so good at Monopoly. Okay, so I've been bragging about this bed the entire time, but I really think it's nice. And please keep in mind there's outlets on either side. So you've got 2 110s over here, and then in the center you have 2 110s and a USB and Type-C as well. And then if we just pull these cushions off, this is a huge couch, by the way. You would not need to deploy this to take a nap. If you wanted to come in and have a little long siesta in the afternoon after a good day of hiking and maybe a few rounds of pickleball or whatever you've been doing, this would be the place to do it. But check this out. So again, this is a coach where you don't have to have people with you, but you can. Oh my gosh, there we go. We're on a slope, you guys. It's not because I'm not strong. I have been doing my weightlifting. But no, so if you wanted to have 2 kids, they could very easily have their own space in the bunks. You've got plenty of drawer storage, plenty of hanging storage, and then you could have 2 adults really very comfortably in this space as well. And this is a nice, it's a really soft gel mattress. It's a very comfy mattress. Now the reason I mention this is because you don't really get an opportunity to feel the things that I feel. So I have to be your eyes and your ears. And on that note, if you see an RV you're interested in, call me, I'll FaceTime with you. I'll tell you the truth as if something smells weird when it's a trade-in and we have something used. I can measure different things, like the fact that there's a walkway from the front of the coach to the rear of the coach, even with the bed fully deployed in this little situation here. So yeah, I can really help. And the other thing I realized just now is that sometimes I miss things. So a few things. Jody, just show the outlets underneath, above those, or under those cabinets. And I didn't talk at all about the other 2 really important appliances. Yeah, he's like pointing at them right now. I know. I didn't talk about the fact that you have not only a convection and microwave oven here, you have an air fryer. So if you want to make tater tots, if you want to make French fries, all of those things, as you can see, you've got the air fryer basket in here. So this is an awesome feature. It's got a roast, it calls it a roast grill. So this is for roasting. You get your air fry feature. It's super, super nice, and everything shows you how to use it right here. But it's very cool to have an air fryer because of course tater tots are better. And then this is what I use for my dish rack. I don't use my dishwasher a lot while I'm camping. If we have a big group of people over, it's super handy. But a lot of times if it's just the 4 of us, kids rinse off their dishes in the sink, put them in here, close it up, and then you don't have to worry about drying it. Now I will run a cycle when I take off from our campsite. That way everything's clean, and then of course I stow everything. I use the vegetable liner. It's kind of like a little foamy, beady type of material, and I just cut little squares and I put it in between our plates. We have plastic plates, but that way I can't hear them rattling going down the road. But I don't do that until we leave. So I'm going to be camping next week with the Cruisin' Airs. I'm super happy about that. So hi everyone, I can't wait to see you. That's our Colorado chapter for Newmar. If you haven't thought about joining the Newmar Country Club, I mean, honestly, Linda Gunnison is the most amazing person. She and her husband have come up. We're doing a brewery tour. We're going to NCAR. They have so many things. Her husband is an amazing cyclist. So you've got all of the different bike routes planned out. I mean, so we're going to go to Fort Collins. They have another chapter meeting in Creed in September. But the Newmar Country Club has just got so many fantastic people in the clubs, and you can go to the different chapters. Like you could go to a California camp out if there was a place they were going that you found interesting. You could go to the balloon festival down in New Mexico. They had a caravan to Alaska. I mean, they have so many cool things. They have cruises that you get discounts on, and you get to go on a cruise with all of your RV buddies. I mean, super, super cool. But I am going to be camping with them next week. And then the second week of June, I get to go to the Palisades for a bluegrass festival with my kiddo. My kids are super into music, so we go to a lot of concerts. We were at like Rilo Kiley last night at Red Rocks. I got another concert on Sunday. Don't tell my boyfriend, he doesn't know I bought tickets this morning. But you know, we love to go to shows, and it's really fun to be able to take your RV to go camping. And there's a lot of places that actually have it set up for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the TV lift up. One of the things that's nice about these little KIB switches is that you have the ability to use them all over the coach, or you could have them on your phone. And then as you can see, you've got a ton of viewing space. I wanted to show you this turnaround. The front recliner I don't think would be very useful for watching a movie, but if you had a big group of people, you could very easily, as I mentioned, this is like a great siesta couch, right? Tons of room to lay down. I know someone's in a comment, oh my God, you put your shoes on the bed. I promise, I've had these since 1997 and they're not dirty. But you know, this is a great siesta couch, but you could really fit 4 people on this couch, another 2 in the booth very easily, maybe 3. and then someone over here, so everyone can sit around this big flat screen TV, again powered by Starlink, and watch a movie and have plenty of room. And it's super nice because when you put the televator down, of course, it's not blocking your view. Now, this coach does have the optional kitchen windows. Of course, the more fresh air you can get while you're camping, in my opinion, the better. Okay, Avin's gonna tell me right now, Katie, you should have looked at this before you went into the coach. I did not. Oh, how does it work? It doesn't do anything. There's seat belts back here. So there we go. There's 2 seat belts here. There are 2 seat belts, or 3 seat belts in the couch, and then there's 1 in the booth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seat belts in this coach. And again, this coach could very easily sleep 2 adults up front, 2 in the bedroom, and then another 2 in the bunks. And it could sleep 2 adults in the bunks. My son's 21. And he loves to sleep in the bunk, and he's always down to go somewhere in the RV. Okay, so little place to keep your water bottles. Of course, when you stop on the road, you always want to make sure you have access to those to get them filled out before you go to hike. Maybe an umbrella. And then, let's do this. Let's see, this one is, that's the heated seats. So these are heated seats. That's also an optional feature. But again, for people who are concerned about having a recliner in this coach, you have a really nice recliner built in. So you could have the couch, you could have room for all the kiddos to get together, pile on. They could put the bed out. You remember that when you would like put the bed out and watch movies together and make you know what we call them, teepees back then. Yeah, so you could do all the fun things. Let's see, I'm gonna put this back up so I can spin it around. It's really easy to turn this bunk around as well, or this chair. So you just slide it, and it's on a 6-way power slide. So I think I had to go forward to turn it around. Is that right? Yep, there it goes. And then I had to go back so I could get through the steering wheel. Now keep in mind, these fascias on this coach are built by the nice Amish craftsman dudes down in Napanee, Indiana. So they can put these back on if you decide to rip them off by opening your slide when your chair is too far back, but I would highly recommend you always check your chair position before opening and closing your slides. So back to Napanee, Indiana. Why do you buy a Newmar? So there it goes. When you know the difference, right? So that's the tagline. When you know the difference, you buy a Newmar. Why do you buy a Newmar? You buy the Newmar because it's got 16 on center. Jody, go ahead and have a seat. Yeah, get comfy. I make this poor guy crazy. Every time he sees me with a tape measure, he says he's gonna quit. But it's important stuff to know how these things measure out, right? And why you want to buy one. So back to Napanee, Indiana. So 16 on center residential construction, what that means is they're using an aluminum C channel. So all of the walls that you see here, all of these windows are actually welded into an aluminum subframe. And the aluminum has, they call it a C channel because it's shaped like this. So it's like shaped like a C. So it's shaped like this. It's tall. It has holes on either side up the channel, not up the back. And then it's set inside of another aluminum channel. And that's how this coach is framed out. And then all of the windows are actually set in the aluminum, and they can run wire through the aluminum. And they can also put batt insulation into those walls. So you've got residential construction on this coach. It's unlike any other. So it's giving you a much better insulative property to this coach. It's a lot quieter going down the road. The windows are not going to sag. They're not going to lose space. But more importantly, if you have a little oopsie and you didn't notice that picnic table and you take out some portion of your rear slide, they can actually repair that without replacing the entire thing because it's not a vacuum bonded foam on fiberglass insulation. The fiberglass is separate and it's mounted to that aluminum channel. So it's a little easier to repair. I shouldn't say a lot. The other reason you buy this coach is because of this subfloor. So again, 3-zone in-floor heating, right? So we love this. The more floor is why you have no carpet in this coach in all tile. So this is a hydraulic slide powered by HWH. HWH is a huge reason that you buy your coach from Newmar. They've had a partnership with Newmar for about 30 plus years, probably 35 now. And they are the ones that provide our they're the ones that provide our hydraulic lift for our slide to go up when it comes in, and you'll see that in a few minutes. They're also the provider of our hydraulic leveling jacks. So this is a really great, substantial system that they all work together, and we've had a long-term partnership with them. The other reason is you consider a Newmar because they use an Oasis hydronic system. It's called a dual loop Chinook. It's got an 8-gallon reservoir that heats the hydronic fluid, and it pumps it to the front and the rear of the coach separately, so that those heat vents that are pushing the warm air from that hydronic fluid that's being boiled in that boiler system to different sections of the coach, and it has less length it needs to travel, which means it stays hotter longer, providing you more hydronic heat. And of course, hydronic heat works not only to heat you, during those, lightly cool summer nights, but also during very cold winter nights. So that paired with heated floors makes this very much a 4-season super cold weather coach. In fact, at Anchorage, Alaska, you're going to find more Dutch stars than any other RV up in Alaska when you go up into those campgrounds, because of the fact that this is such an all-season coach. Now, the heat pumps are part of your 15,000 BTU air conditioning systems. And as I mentioned earlier, in these really nice covered ceilings, they are ducted the whole way through. So when you're going down the road, you're going to get air circulation. They're not going to be covered up. They also prevent you from having a ceiling fan. So if you've noticed Newmars don't have ceiling fans, it's because of the way that they duct their air conditioning, but you also notice you don't have any of those weird, unsightly little vents all over the ceiling. You've got a really nice soft touch ceiling and really gorgeous ductwork, and you've got those all-wheel drop down, so you can change out your own air filters, seasonally, save a little bit of money. Another reason you buy from Newmar has 54 service bays for you. They are a customer-facing organization. Here at Transwest, we can service your house and we can service your chassis. But Newmar isn't going to send you to Lazy Days or to some random, RV shop to be parked in the rear parking lot for 6 months while you wait for, whatever it has to happen, some random act of God to get your RV fixed. This manufacturer is not only willing to invite you to their organization to allow you to have your regular maintenance. They're also there if you've got any kind of critical failure. Maybe you started driving away with your slide out and you hit a tree and you need it rebuilt. You can go straight to the mothership. Most importantly, though, when you have a manufacturer that's willing to bring the public into their home, to invite them to see how they manufacture their coaches, you can go on that 26 building tour. You can watch them build your cabinets. You can watch them create your countertops. You can watch them create this 3-inch thick subfloor on its own temperature controlled bay where they cure your grout and set in your in-floor electrical heating. You can watch all of that yourself and really understand your coach. But when they're willing to invite you into their home, it's because they're willing to be accountable. And I think that that is the most important selling feature of Newmar. Newmar is a highly accountable, highly customer-facing organization with a great parent company, Winnebago, who has their own campus, their own facility up in Forest City, Iowa, and they are also customer-facing. Unlike some of our competition. I won't name names, but they bought out groups like Tiffin, they bought out groups like Integra, Jayco, systematically. And so you don't have a big one of them to go visit. You do have that in both Winnebago and in Newmar, and I think it speaks highly to the fact that the merger that we had of these two companies has really allowed Newmar to remain independent and individual, but still bringing in, better healthcare coverage, better investment plans, better coverage for their employees. They're a very employee-centric organization that take care of their population, because the Amish population that manufactures the coaches for us in Napanee, Indiana, yes. They are I thought I said Iowa, sorry, Forest City, Iowa, Winnebago, Napanee, Indiana, Newmar. They are the reason that this manufacturer has been so successful over the last 30 years. It's really important to understand that when Newmar builds a coach, they don't just build a coach because they're trying to, sell it to you and make another deal. they're trying to invest in your dream. They're getting you out on the road and helping you to realize all of the things that you've worked for in your life. So just a little plug there. If you watch my videos, I don't always get in depth about that. Sometimes I cover stuff like this. So this Dutch Star tag is on a Freightliner chassis. It has brake sync, which is going to give you a separately charged cylinder, allowing you to have completely synced brakes to your air braking system on your tow vehicle. You can also see your TPMS sensors in the dash. You've got Drive Tech with OptiView. This is going to be your steering wheel controls, allows you to interface with the coach without having to look out on the road. It also has Road Watch, which is a, basically you've got Mobileye. This coach has the updated lane tracking package. It has the updated ability to do automatic cruise control, so distance-based cruise control. It has Ultra Steer, giving you the ability to have an independent front suspension and great wheel cut, not only because of the passive tag, but also because of the front wheel cut, so giving you more dexterity to get into parking spots. And then it has V-Ride. V-Ride would be like if you had the weight of the coach out here instead of the weight of the coach in here. By having that wider stance, you have less tip going through those mountain passes. The L9 450 horsepower engine is got 1,250 foot-pounds of torque. I know we talked about that. This coach, though, has a total GVWR of 51,000 pounds. So really robust, plenty of weight capacity. On the 43-foot coach, you get 150-gallon fuel capacity. That is a ton of fuel. It's only 20 gallons less than the King Air. 15-gallon DEF tank, and then you again the independent front suspension gives you a great feel on the road, and then raised rail with lowered rear section. So what this means is this raised rail is part of your Star Foundation. The Star Foundation is what's giving you that raised rail. So this coach is not sitting on the chassis rail. It is actually sitting above the chassis rail. The Star Foundation is manufactured at Newmar. It's the first step in the construction of this vehicle, and it gives you a huge amount of extra base space, but it also gives you a more supple road or more supple ride going down the road. It gives you better control over heat in the summer and cool in the winter as well. Now as we come up here, I'm going to go ahead and bring these slides in. So here's that hydraulic slide coming in. You can see it has to raise first. That's why there's not much clearance above that that slide when the slide's up. When it's down, people say, well, why is there such a big gap up here? Well, it goes up about 2.5 inches to be able to come in above that beautiful porcelain tile floor. Those are Italian porcelain tiles. And again, your in-floor heating is not any kind of liquid. It's going to be electric. So you've got in-floor heating, hydronic heat pumps, all sorts of ways to stay warm. And the new air I did on Monday, it had a fireplace. That's like 4 different ways to stay warm. Randy's gonna be toasty. But take a look at the walking space here. So of course, this is one of the reasons that you buy an RV, right? You want to be able to use the potty while you're going down the road. You want to be able to camp in the coach when you're at a rest stop without having to lower, take it off of the ball hitch and put down your jacks and pop out your slides like you would on a fifth wheel. As you can see, this is huge. You can have a big fat dog. You can go hang out here, get it all the way down here in the back. If your grandkids are naughty, you can go ahead and put them in here, close the doors, put the slides in. They're not going to be able to, no, I'm just kidding. Don't put your kids in there, just your husband. No, don't put him in there either. That's not very nice. But as you can see, access to the bathroom, access to the refrigerator, everything is designed. I always have people ask, can you get to the refrigerator? Can you get to the bathroom? The way that Newmar designs this coach, everything is designed. Trying to lock this so that when I go, oh, there it goes. When I drive down the road, there we go. When I drive way later, it doesn't pop open. But no, so yeah, you can literally, you can access everything that you need in the kitchen. I'm going to go ahead and go, do you want to just show this real quick, Jody? So this is your HVAC, so you can control all your temperature here. You've got your floor heat here. You've got your lighting controls here for all the different places, so you could really come in and just set it up the way you want it. You've got your TV lift here. I'm going to go ahead and put the TV down. And then you've got your, you've got all of your fan controls here. And you've got your tank systems here, so you can see all of your tanks. You can turn your water pump on, you can turn on autofill, top off. All of this stuff is all right here at your home panel. And it's throughout the coach that you have it. Now, we didn't mention this one TV up front. This is a 43-inch flat screen TV. You should not drive with your televator up. To the right of it, it's got a great place to keep baseball hats and maybe an umbrella. I love the way that they've actually put a shelf in here. Sometimes it's just really tall. It doesn't have a lot of room. This one, you can keep a few cool camp hats. As you can see, there's nothing here. That's because we have all of our shades. And again, power shades are an option on this coach. We've opted, you know, you can't put everything in. We spent our money on side assist. So this coach has, you see a little triangle in this mirror? That's blind spot assist. So if there's somebody in your blind spot, that's going to turn red. We've also spent our money on these great awnings, which are keeping the heat out of the coach right now. We've also spent our money on the adaptive cruise control. So adaptive cruise control and side assist are both optional packages. We've also spent our money on our 360-degree overhead camera system. And I have to tell you, oh, I wish this wasn't here, but you can see overhead here. Now I do have the rear tailgate open, so you're not seeing right as well as you could in the back, but you can see like the little rain gutter just to the left of this coach in this overhead shot. This is so crucial for pulling into tight spots. Right now we park underneath here. You can see how close we get these, you know, these horse trailers to these poles over here. So when we're really stacking things in, it's amazing how close we have to be, but we can really see where we are because of these overhead cameras. And then you can also see different views. Like this is the downward view, and you can see Dutch Star upside down because that's showing you right where your trailer hitch needs to be connected to the front of your vehicle. So those docking cameras, everything is in here. Now this is built on the Freightliner chassis. You could also do the Spartan chassis. And in this coach, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and we'll see that power up. So here it comes on. You can see that nice digital display power up. I'm gonna, oops. Oh, sorry, that was probably pretty loud. Sorry, guys. Let me drop my phone. Let me put my phone up here in the wireless charging dock. There we go. So as you can see, really good clear display, DEF, fuel. You can see your air pressure, so you can make sure you're inflated. If it wasn't inflated, you'd hear this horrible beeping sound. Nothing's wrong. It's just inflating those airbags and telling you not to drive yet. Distance to empty, 848 miles. Battery charge, mileage on the coach. Everything is right here. But this is when they were talking about the ergonomic controls. So as you can see, you can go here into these controls, and you can actually change, you know, you could do additional gauges. So your transmission temperature, your oil pressure, you know, which gear you're in, your engine load. You can change your steering effort for comfort drive. This is, of course, the electronic thing that keeps your coach going straight, even in gale force winds, drastically reducing driver fatigue on this big unaerodynamic brick that you're hurtling through space. Fuel economy is right here. You can see what kind of fuel economy you've had. You can reset it so you can see what you're getting on your trip. Mobileye again. Headway warning distance, you can change whether or not you want it to give you, I'm going to go ahead and put medium. You can change whether or not you want it to give you an alert when there's someone who's pretty close to you. Intelligent high beams, oh, this is so cool. Why is it turned off? That's crazy. This is when you go around a corner in the mountains, your high beams dim automatically, and then they go back up as soon as the oncoming traffic passes. And then lane departure warning, I'm going to set it to low sensitivity. You can turn that off. That's the thing that buzzes you in the butt when you go over the lanes. So that's the Mobileye. And then this is Road Watch. So this is where you can set your cruise control to 3.3 or 3.6 seconds. As you can see, this would be giving you a further following distance, or if you were city driving, you could have a closer following distance, and this coach would keep up with the vehicle in front of you. So that's an extra feature that we did decide to spend money on. The tire pressure. This is so cool. So not only does it show you the temperature, or the pressure, it shows you the temperature, and you can see your tow vehicle here in the same display. So as I mentioned earlier, like this is a really nice feature of this coach. And then the diagnostics are not only here on the coach, but they're also able to send that diagnostic information to Freightliner Custom Chassis. Freightliner Custom Chassis is so cool. They have an app. They're there 24/7. They will help you. Dutch Star also offers you Spencer and Mary. I swear, I talk to Mary all the time. She's fantastic. They have Noogle, which is like Google for your RV. They have Newmar, where you can order filters and things for yourself and have them sent to you so that you can do your own service on some of like those overhead vents and such that we talked about. JBL, of course, is a really great sound system. Year after year, we always have them come back to consult to give us better sound quality. You can see we've got these nice speakers up here in the dash. And then above that speaker, you can see all of your controls. You've got your power management system. You've got your Razor antenna. You've got your Girard awning controls. It's super windy today, so I don't have those out. You've got your Magnum Energy. This is going to be telling, this is your inverter. This is going to be telling you where your power is going, how much you're using. All of your slide controls, your security lights. I think our block heater is on. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And then as you can see here, we've got all of our awnings. Oh, and I didn't put this awning out. I bet you I could do this one. I'm going to do the door awning. I know this sounds silly, but these door awnings are so nice to have if you've got someone who's coming to visit you. They can ring their doorbell and then they can stand out underneath your awning if it's drizzly and you're camping and they're waiting for you to come unlock the door. One other feature we haven't talked about yet, this huge windshield. Look at how you get to see America. This is the reason that you buy a Class A. This windshield, these really nice recliners on both sides. There is a step cover. I always have to bring this up because people don't know that they're not going to torpedo into the floor. And if you put the cover out, you can put your cat underneath and then close the door. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put your kitty under the stairs. Your kitty can go wherever you want. This little guy here, I always thought that this screen went up so that you could hand people beer. It turns out it goes up so that you can look out the window. This goes to show you where my head goes. Oh my gosh, it's so windy. All right, so we're gonna head out right now. There's an all lights off and all lights on feature right here at the exit of the door. That's new for this year for 2025. Also new for 2025, no more desk. I think we should write to Newmar and tell them how sad it makes us. But you do have a wireless charging dock. You also have Type C and Type A USB charging points, and you have 110 outlets. So pretty cool features there. These are heated seats. And again, you'll even see the Onyx package when we step out of this coach on the door. So we have the Onyx is throughout the entire coach. All of this stainless steel trim is painted Onyx. And then here above the Onyx stairs, you do have some nice storage. Great place for some shoes, some hiking boots, or dog food and leashes and dog dishes, depending on what your preference is. But yeah, all of this, as you can see, is done in Onyx, even the steps. And we're gonna hit this pretty quick because it's really loud out here and windy with my mics, which is why we spent quite a bit more time inside. Mark Love does a great video on a Dutch Star if you ever want to tune in and look for his videos. Here are your Amish racing wheels. Now please keep in mind, these big boys are 365s. That is another difference between the Dutch Star and the Ventana beyond the independent front suspension. Anytime you've got a bigger wheel, you've got a little more sidewall, you've got a little more comfort going down the road. This guy here, gosh, it's so windy. There we go. I'm gonna let it go gently. We'll go quick. This guy comes all the way out past the slide, so you have access into your Dometic 3 cubic liter refrigerator freezer combo. Again, programmable for whatever you like. Popsicles over here, beer over here, however you want to do it. A shelf above, which makes it super easy to load. A 43-inch flat screen outside, again, all powered by Starlink. And again, 2025, we have Type C and Type A, as well as 110s outside to charge your phone. Your Bose soundbar and your remotes are all in here, ready to go. So just give me a call. We'll get her gassed up. You can come pick her up. You could have a full slide here, but sometimes it's nice to have the taller space. You do lose a few inches of height when you have these pull-out trays. So we've only opted for the one, but it is a full pass-through tray. It's got a 1,000-pound weight rating, and as you can see, it comes out to 60%. So you can actually get to the middle of the tray from either side with the slides deployed. even when you're stopped. And then here's that star foundation. And you can see by raising the chassis rails, look at how we've got all of the wiring up here above the storage areas, giving you more basement storage underneath. So again, it's taking the heaviest part of the slide, it's pushing it down towards the center of the coach, giving you a better center of gravity, and then you've got that big V-ride with that wide, staunch, footing underneath you, giving you a great drive going down the road. And that independent front suspension is going to help you with hitting potholes and then just being able to turn and corner easier. Outside here, we've got some power for our Girard awnings. You could actually put them in from outside here. There's no way I would stay up right now. I can barely stand up. Your road vac here is where you could vacuum off your children, vacuum off your dog, vacuum off your paddleboard, and then you can see it right there, made in Italy. That porcelain tile for that wood grain tile that we have inside. And I love this salsa exterior, so pretty. I was like, I know exactly what dress to wear. This is one of the sensors for your blind spot detection. There's 6 of these, 3 on each side. And then here in this compartment, look at how cool this is. They've really done a nice job in making it very easy to access and diagnose any issues you might be having with a coach. And then over here on the left, you see that dark tube? That is because there's a nice built-in patio for all of your Starlink, your air conditioners, your fans. Everything is cloistered in a nice patio up top, and all of the water is actually controlled and drained through different drain tubes throughout the coach, so you don't get unsightly water lines coming down the side of the RV. We've got our docking lights here. Of course, the innie is the drive axle. If it's an Audi, it turns. So there's a piston that actually releases from this wheel, allowing it to pivot. This is what makes this your turning radius. So your wheelbase is from the middle of this wheel to the middle of that wheel, as opposed to being further back. But because you have this tag, you're able to have that big 8.9 liter in the rear of this coach and all of the support that it needs for the weight, as well as the dexterity because it pivots. 15-gallon def tank. It's fillable on both sides. Again, this coach does have a dual fill, 150-gallon fuel capacity as well, 2 chassis batteries, another one of these blind spot sensors, and then you can see back here the marriage of Cummins to Freightliner. Cummins is all red. Again, this is that ISL 8.9 liter, 1,250 foot-pounds of torque. As you can see, here's that brake sync right below your 7-pin connector. All you need is a Blue Ox system and Air Force One, and you're good to go. 15,000-pound towing capacity. And up here is where you would make sure, if you're below this line, you will not have a tankless water heater. You have to be, this is an overflow container, as it says right here, but it has to be above this cold line, or it gets a little bit twitchy and it won't actually heat your water until you put more of the Oasis juice in there. Keep in mind, if you say when you burn, so I sell like 90% of my coaches off of videos. When you come in and you purchase your video or purchase your coach off of video, just remind me that I said I would give you a free gallon of that. It's really hard to have Amazon, DoorDash doesn't deliver Oasis fluid, let's put it that way. So make sure you have a gallon of that with you. And then check out this back end. Really cool LED integration. So you've got a nice bright brake light there. You've got brake lights on the top as well. As you can see, everything is blacked out with this Onyx package, including Dutch Star and the Newmar logo up top. Just a really good job at creating something that's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. And then here's the difference in these awnings outside. So I have one fully deployed. As you can see, it's super windy. These are handling the wind very well, giving you that protection even in gusty situations against the sun, keeping you cooler inside. Again, Dutch Star blacked out there. Of course, from Dutch Star up our side radiator. So this is a side radiator coach. And this is for your DEF. This is actually to keep your, I would always keep some gloves for basically the DEF is really stinky. So if you're filling the DEF up at the truck stop, I would do it there. So you can keep gloves in here for that. You could also keep your gravity hose here. So just a nice little outdoor storage container, and it's drained. So if it's got moisture in there, it'll actually just drain out. And then right here is this beautiful water bay. So As you can see, we have, this coach is winterized. We're actually de-winterizing everything now. It's been really nice. But you've got hot and cold water, a paper towel dispenser. One of my favorite things is that you actually have a gray tank rinse on this coach, which I think is super nice. And then you have a clear water filter so that you can tell when it's gross out and yucky. And then you've got a power reel for your freshwater hose, a little grommet here to put it out. And then this guy here is covered by this guy here, so you can keep the bugs and the rodents out when you're not camping. But all of it's lit with this like nice LED light over top, so if you get to camp late, you can still get set up. Look at the exhaust pipe is even onyx. Everything is onyx. They do such a nice job. Newmar does a nice job. This cut and buff paint job, by the way, is so smooth. This is such a beautiful salsa exterior. I just love this coach. Love it, love it, love it. Your 50-foot power cord is on a power reel, and you have a surge protector in there also. That is an optional feature, but I would highly recommend it. And then you also have a place for your cable right here, so you can plug your cable in. And again, LED lighting in this compartment. The next compartment is going to be our Oasis. Really nice. All of your diagnostics are right here in the front, very easy to see. And then you've got your loop 1 and loop 2 for your dual loop as well. Again, that's just giving the ability for that reservoir to push that fluid in both directions. And then here we have the other side of our cargo tray. Now, if you watch my videos, I always say I love non-power trays. Look at how fast that comes out. That's so much better than sitting here holding a button. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think they should put power trays at any of them underneath. It's like you're virtue signaling your power tray. I don't know. Anyway, so more storage here, of course. This is a huge, huge basement underneath. And you know, there's an actual thermostatically controlled water bay, which again makes this an all-season coach. This is also on a tray. It slides out, very easy to service your batteries. We're saving you tens of thousands of dollars in not having this with the optional lithionics battery package. That is a great option for someone who doesn't want to run their generator going down the road. For me, the generator's on. You can barely hear it, and that's why I leave it on. It's a 10 kilowatt quiet diesel generator on any 43-foot Dutch Star. Also, again, you have the, oh shoot, Jody, look, hold on. Wardrobe change. Jody's like, I'm so unimpressed, my arm hurts. Let me stop holding this camera. Let's go inside. There we go. So on any of these 43-foot coaches, you're gonna have a 10 kilowatt quiet diesel generator and 150 gallon fuel capacity. That is very impressive all the way around. So here's that other fueling station, more docking lights. Again, Amish racing wheels with this Onyx package. And then I already have pulled the release for the generator cover right here. And then you can see this nice bonded power window, again on Onyx package. This is your side view camera. So when you put your signals on, it's actually a little higher up and integrated into your mirrors, which is really nice. It's part of that feature. And then here underneath, we have our 10 kilowatt quiet diesel generator. And I'll go ahead and turn that off. And you can hear the difference, but it's really not very noisy. And then here we have our air horns, our windshield washer fluid, and there's a nice light inside of here. So if you do want to be able to, see what you're doing late at night, you've got a place here to put an air truck if you need to, maybe give a little extra air to your tires. And then again, here is that mobile camera or mobile eye, and then your 360 overhead camera, huge front windshield. And again, this is a 2025 Newmar Dutch Star. It's the floor plan is the 4340. Anything ending in 40 now by Newmar will be a bunk model. It's stock number 5N250034. Again, 5N250034. This coach is available. Stratton interior, Morel, Summit two-tone cabinets, salsa exterior. Absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous specimen of a Newmar. My name's Katie O'Neill. You can always reach me at 303-562-8659. Let me know how I can get you out on the road and camping. Thanks so much for tuning in.